28 years later, The Bone Temple is directed by Nia DaCosta and written by Alex Garland. It runs for 109 minutes long. This is the sequel to 28 Years Later, which came out in June of 2025. So within that span of 6+ months, we got two 28 years later movies, which is very, very surprising. Now, 28 years later was close to a 2-hour movie that was 115 minutes long. This film is 109 minutes long, just a perfect amount of time. And I was very hesitant because I didn't know what to expect. Even though, the previous film left it open-ended, we knew a sequel was happening. And this film starts right away and just shows the aftermath of what's going on and what's happening. We see Spike being introduced and inducted into the Sir Jimmy Crystal gang, played by Jack O'Connell. Jack O'Connell is absolutely phenomenal in this role. Very different, very weird. The movie also had comedic moments at times, and it was just like, am I watching the right movie, or what's going on and what's happening? It just felt different than the previous movie. The previous movie didn't have that feeling or aspect to anything, and the best character in that movie was Ralph Fiennes as Dr. Ian Kelson. And here, Ralph Fiennes is absolutely phenomenal, one of my favorite characters that he's ever done. Probably his best performances of his career. Probably my top 3 of his acting filmography. Now, Nia DaCosta, I was a little hesitant as well because, she did the Marvels movie that didn't do too good at the box office. But I had high hopes because she does horror, and she did the Candyman remake reboot a few years ago. So it was different to see her, how she fits into the style of certain things. She definitely, didn't try to mimic Danny Boyle at all. She didn't do what he did in the first film, which was more cinematic and gestural. But it was different because we see that in this, she hearkened in on the emotion, the trauma, what's going on and what's happening. And that really, really fit everything. Especially where you have the visceral void of certain characters and what's going on. And even where we see Jimmy Crystal's character being that demented, weird has that kind of, I'm me, this is what I like to do, it's the end of the world kind of thing. He has that ego about himself. That's the thing. He has that ego when it's like, oof. What really surprised me, though, is how much empathy is in this film than the previous one. And it's like, you see the characters of Jimmy and Spike do their thing, but then you see Ian Kelson kind of, doing his thing with the alpha zombie, the infected. It's like, oh, there's more to it. What this film brings is totally different. It's more lead toward the gore. Nia DaCosta directed a phenomenal movie. And it's an interesting thing because there are a lot of aspects of the ideology of how Sir Lord Jimmy Crystal talks about things, how he harkens back to his childhood and everything. But it fits the mold of, okay, this is still the end of the world. But then what is really going on? Ralph Fiennes is the standout. I said that before a few minutes ago, and this is really, really... He forms, like I stated, an unlikely connection with Samson, the alpha that's infected. And it's just like, where's this going? What's happening? And you could say that the film kind of gave certain things away in the trailer and the marketing images of what happens to Ian Kelson in the movie. But we see at the same time the aspects of how Spike is pulled deeper into the Jimmy Crystal lore, and kind of, not only are the infected the problem, but the humans are also the aspect of the real villains as well. Honestly, The Bone Temple might be the best film in the franchise. And if this does well at the box office, we'll get a third movie, or we'll get a fifth movie altogether, but a third 28 years later movie, which we will see Jim, Cillian Murphy's character, appear in that one. So the way this is going, it's really, really done well. It's smart. It's aspect of, it keeps you on the edge of your seat much more than the previous movie did. I know I'm comparing it to the previous film, but you have to, because that was the first and this is the second. But in the lineage, it serves as the fourth installment. So there's a lot of happenings going on. But this was fun, and this was really, really good. I went in with low expectations because I didn't like the previous movie. But this one, I absolutely loved. The directing was fantastic. Get Nia DaCosta to do more horror films. Alex Garland, I mean, he's hitting it out of the ballpark with writing scripts right now. He's directing some of his own material. And seeing Ralph Fiennes really play the character of Ian Kelson really well was so good to see. His filmography just, blows everybody else out of the water. And I would like to actually see him get nominated for a few awards, when award season comes around for the following year. But we will see. This is a January release, and anytime they release a horror movie or kind of that post-apocalyptic movie in, the wintertime or January, February, March, it really doesn't do too good. But hopefully with word of mouth, this really stands on its own and stands the test of time. And it's going to be interesting to see if this does well at the box office and if we get a final movie in the 28 years later where we see Cillian Murphy's character return. And supposedly Danny Boyle is directing that one too. For me, 28 years later, The Bone Temple gets 5 out of 5 film reels. My first 5 out of 5 movie of 2026. Let's see how many more 5 out of 5 movies there are in this year. So let me know in the comment section what you thought about 28 years later, The Bone Temple. Did you like it? Did you not like it? What did you think of it? What did you think about the aspect of the feel, the scope? Who's your favorite character? Who's your least favorite character? Did you find that this movie was more enjoyable than the previous one? And are you looking forward to there being one more movie in the franchise? Let me know in the comment section about all the questions I just asked. I'm Mr. Filmstock. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll see you all in the next review video.